Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. I'm pleased that I have just finished sawing some logs and stacking them because it's just about starting to rain where I am. So it was a smart move to get on with my chores first thing in the morning rather than dilly-dally, which is kind of what I was leaning towards doing. I sometimes have problems with motivating myself out to go and do tasks that are, it's an ongoing project, right? So I'm sure that, like many of you, it's a lot easier to sort of pour a second cup of coffee, maybe have a look through YouTube, and next thing you know, the day's half gone, right? But I forced myself to go out, and I'm pleased to say that I beat the rain. So the rest of the day can be spent indoors doing a few things. We're on a decluttering program at the moment. If you've ever done that, you will know what it's all about. Anyhow, to boxing. In light of Frank Warren saying that he would be open to making the fight, there's quite a few stories on YouTube and floating around social media about the idea of Moses Itauma fighting Martin Bakole. Now, a few months ago, I think most people would have jumped up and down and said, "Ooh, that's too soon, that's too dangerous. Martin Bakole is the king of sparring." Well, a couple of things have happened, right, since then. Moses hasn't done anything, hasn't fought. I'll get to that because I'm a little bit concerned about Moses Itauma's level of inactivity. But a couple of things have happened with respect to Martin Bakole. He got a last-minute call to replace the conveniently unwell Daniel Dubois, who pulled out of the Parker fight, to replace Dubois. But he turned up at 315 pounds, something like that. The guy was massive. And of course, it was 24 hours notice. He flew across a continent, all commercial. And of course, he was no match for Parker. And then everybody said, well, it was a last minute thing. Few of us were saying, yeah, but how come he was in such crappy shape? A professional athlete, not supposed to balloon up like that. But anyways, it sort of went away, right? Because, it was last minute. Everybody appreciated he'd stepped up. And, everyone was prepared to give him a pass. Well, most people were. Well, then, of course, a couple of weeks back, he fought F.A. Ajagba. And he came in at 299. Like, not svelte. And then we've had all the hoo-ha from Billy Nelson about, Martin can eat British food, Jimmy, as though that somehow would be a dietary improvement. Okay. Well, neeps and tatties, possibly not, Billy. And that Billy was going to get him a strength and conditioning coach. I did a separate video on this. Like now you're getting him a strength and conditioning coach? Like, do you not think that would have been an idea previously? And a nutritionist. Oh my God, such people, they actually exist. There's people out there who can help you design a diet plan. They usually cost a wee bit of money. But Billy, your man is rich now, and so are you, I think. Anyhow, Martin Bakole is going to now be at last outfitted, together with all his Gucci paraphernalia, with the services of a strength and conditioning coach and a nutritionist. But this emphasized that Martin Bakole, whilst he might be the king of sparring, is not the king of the ring. It might be the case that the boogeyman isn't so frightening after all. It might be the case that Billy Nelson has been blowing a wee bit of hot air about Bakole's abilities. Many of us, myself included, looked at his destruction of Takam and then his very, very good performance against Jared Anderson sort of confirming the potential hoo-ha that Billy Nelson had been speaking. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Dedication, getting your weight under control, says me, of course, but hey, I'm not a professional athlete, never have been. So yeah, maybe Bakole isn't as frightening. In which case, this might be the opportunity for Moses Itauma to really kickstart his career. Because Martin Bakole is still of a different level entirely to Dempsey McCain, who is the best fighter that Moses Itauma has been in the ring with to date. But I'm concerned, and I did a separate video about this subject, that Moses Itauma is going to fight Mike Bologna. Now, Mike Bologna, a former wannabe NFL guy, ought to be so many levels below Moses Itauma that you should get paid to watch it, not pay to go and watch it. And I'm wondering why he was put in with Mike Bologna. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this is. And I've had some conversations with the other guys who occasionally appear on Porky's Corner. And a few of us are thinking that maybe the training team of Moses Itauma has seen something they don't like about Moses, and they need to sort of get him out there with anybody at the moment just to see. Jamie thinks that maybe there's been a piece of glass seen in Itauma's chin. Hard to say, right? Hard to say. But if that's not the case, if Moses Itauma is as it says on the tin, then Moses Itauma will, I have no idea why he's fighting Mike Bologna, except to give Mike Bologna a paycheck. He should walk through Mike Bologna. And then, why not against Bakole? Now, Moses Itauma is 11-0. So he's in roughly that same bracket as Justice Hooney, right? Or Johnny Fisher. Fighting Mike Bologna is light years away from those guys. Fighting Martin Bakole might be a little bit too much the other way, but hey, let's get the guy out. Let's see what he's made of. There's only so much cotton wooling you can do with somebody, right? Personally, I'd like to see Moses Itauma out much, much, much more frequently. Let's get him to learn his craft. Let's get him in with British level fighters. Let's get him learning. Let's get him, a solid foundation. But get him fighting regularly. Putting him in with Bakole, if the Bakole that beats Anderson turns up, so around 280, just 20 stone, it's still, in my book, 3 stone too much. But hey, whatever. If the 20 stone Bakole who beat Jared Anderson shows up, that will be a test and a half for Moses Itauma. That will be an absolute test. And if Moses gets through that version of Bakole, then I'm prepared to say Moses is likely the real deal. At present, we simply don't know. So yeah, why not? What do you think? Should Moses Itauma and a somewhat diminished Martin Bakole get it on? According to BoxRec, they're evenly matched. Like Moses is number 14 in the world and Bakole is number 15 in the world. I don't really know how that rating works, but I mean, whatever. A bit like giving a peace prize to somebody who promises peace. Yes, well, anyhow, let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's too soon? If it's made, who would you be putting money on? All that sort of stuff. Anyways, please like, please share, and please subscribe. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And the channel is growing beautifully. I'm super happy about it. So thank you so much. And most importantly, wherever you are, have a lovely day. It's raining, so I think the rest of my day will be indoors. That'll work for me just fine. Thanks so much for watching, as always. Bye-bye.